So I've been working on some removable tumbler toppers, as I'm sure you guys have seen, but I've been making some rainbow tumbler toppers, but these aren't just normal rainbow tumbler toppers. They have a twist. All right, so today I'm going to make some glow-in-the-dark toppers, and we're going to start with the topper bases. You could technically put these directly onto the cup, but the problem is you can't wash them. So with this, you can take them off and then you can wash them, wash the cup, and then you don't have to worry about getting your topper dirty or moldy or anything like that. So best to have toppers removable if possible, just so you don't avoid so you can avoid contamination of your topper. So I'm starting with some 2-part epoxy resin, and we're also going to need some glow powder. I'm going to make one in pink, one in green, and one in blue, and I'm using sky blue and blue because I like the color of the sky blue, and I'm going to use rose red and pink. I'm just getting a little low on the pink, and the rose red is a nicer color, but I find it doesn't glow quite as much. So we've also got some neon acrylic paint. I got this at Michael's, and you've got it in blue, green, yellow, which I'm not using right now, and pink. So what we're going to do is mix up the 3 colors and mix a little bit of the acrylic paint in there as well, and the glow mica. So we're going to start with the green. And the more of the glow powder you add, the more it glows typically. So if you find that you make these and they're not glowing enough to your liking, add more glow powder and you should get a better result. You can also use glow-in-the-dark paint, but if you want a really good glow without wrecking your resin, do use the glow mica. I'm just putting a little touch of this in, not too much, because I don't want it to affect the resin. And with these toppers, you should put a magnet into each one of these in the bottom. Some of these little rare earth magnets, I'll show them to you. I'll link these in the description as well. These ones are very, very tiny. A little bit bigger ones than these would probably be better to use, but this is what I've got, so I'm going to use these. So all you do is just peel them off. They are pretty sticky. If you're worried about them moving in your resin, you can tack them down with a little bit of UV resin onto your mold, just so you don't have them migrating, because sometimes they will migrate. They want to be friends, so they can travel through the resin, as I've had happen before. So, whoops, these little buggers are sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. I think I got them. There we go. And then you're going to put exactly on this opposite side of your tumbler on the lid, you're going to put glue little magnets onto that side, so you have magnets on both sides. Okay, we're going to add our mica. Okay, and we've already got our epoxy resin mixed. So we're just going to add what I think should fill these. I am terrible at measuring stuff. Terrible. Just make sure you've got that mixed up very, very well. You can also use epoxy dye on these, probably work better actually, but thought I'd try out these paints, see how it works, see if it cures okay with a bit of paint in there. I'm just going to pour these into the molds. I'll link these molds in the description as well. I got these off Amazon. They're just a coaster mold, like a car coaster. They work quite well for the toppers. I did, on the middle one, cut out the straw area. And I plan to just drill a hole in the middle for the straw. And if you have bubbles in this, just give it a shot with a creme brulee torch so you don't get bubbles. Just make sure you don't light anything on fire. And that should help with your bubbles. So I'm a little low on the resin on each one of these, so I'm just going to mix up a little more of each and just fill these until they're full. Alright, and now we're going to let these cure until tomorrow, and we will be back to finish these off. Alright, so our resin is now cured, so we're just going to demold these and then we get ready for the fun part. So we're just going to be using the pink and blue base for this tutorial. I'm using the green one in another project, and now we can start on our whipped topping. Your whipped topping, you're going to need Fast and Final lightweight spackle. This is the best one I've found, and it's a nice light color, so it takes any color you add to it very easily. And then we're going to need some piping bags. Just these cheap plastic ones will work, or you can use these reusable ones. I'm not sure what these are made out of. I think they're some kind of silicone, but these are also great if you can rinse them out and reuse them quite easily, although these I've had good luck rinsing them out as well. And then we're going to need some glow powder. Now I picked up a different glow powder. It's this one here. I'll link it in the description. It's really nice. This is a really nice glow powder. It also comes with a handy little black light, so if you don't have one, it comes with this, and it's pretty cost effective. Like I said, I will link it. You do get 12 different colors. For this project, we're going to use the pink, purple, blue, and green. I'm also using in those colors as well, pink, purple, blue, and green paint. It doesn't have to be glow in the dark. This is the one I've got for purple, so I'm just going to use that. These are just neon paints I got at Michael's. Any paint will work, or if you don't have paint, you can likely use a food coloring. We're also going to need some plain saran wrap, just good old saran wrap, any kind is fine. And I think that should be it. Oh, no, we're going to need some cups, some disposable cups, or we'll need something to stir as well. So let's get started. Something else you can also use for this is Model Magic, and I'll use this in one of these as well, just to demonstrate. Alright, so here is our Fast and Final Spackle, and you can see how nice of a color that is. So all we're going to do is just do a nice little dollop into each container. You don't have to measure this properly. It doesn't really matter. Just get them kind of even. It's not anything important if it's the same. And having a spoon would probably be better, but again, new day, new week, and I still forgot to bring some spoons. Okay, so just put some into each one of your cups. And I'm going to switch my glove out. So we're also here, we're going to add some paint to each one of these. So we're going to add pink to the one, purple, green, so on. Make sure you shake these up good first so you don't get any weirdness. All right, so we're gonna do pink. Just a nice little squirt of each color into these. All right, and now we're going to add our glow-in-the-dark powder. So I'm going to add probably about 3 little scoops of each one of these. I don't measure anything ever. I just kind of eyeball it, and if it needs more, I always check it before I make it officially done. I check the color. You should always check your color of whatever you're doing under your black light and the dark. Make sure it's got enough glow powder in it, because you can always adjust it before you let this dry. So if it isn't enough, make sure you check that beforehand so you're not disappointed with the final project. And I find these purpley colors in the pink aren't quite as dark, so I'm adding a little more. Dark isn't the word. They aren't quite as glowy. Okay, now we're going to stir each one of these up. So I'm going to come back after I've stirred each one of these. All right, so my purple isn't quite as dark as I'd like it to be, so I'm adding a few drops of this acrylic color. All right, now that we've got each color all mixed, we're going to put these into piping bags. So just, you can put this over a cup if you want. Sometimes that makes it a little easier to get it in. And then just fold the edges over. Oops, this one was used for another project that's actually coming out after this one, but I think you guys will enjoy that one a lot. You don't need a tip on these. You can if you want to, but it's not going to matter. So just fill your piping bags up. This is done very similar to how you do rainbow icing for a cake or for cupcakes, which is where I've done this before. So just add these all to the piping bags. And I'm going to rinse those and reuse them, because why not? So there's our one. And then just repeat this for the other colors. And if you guys want me to film that, let me know. And when I'm doing the same thing on multiple, or on the same video, when I'm doing the exact same thing, if you guys want to see that, I'll happily film it. But I try to make these videos not run too long. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. But if not, I'm just going to keep doing them how I do these, which is just cutting out repetitiveness on these videos. Okay, and I will be back when these are all full. Alright, so I've got all of my spackle, my glow spackle, into the little bags, and I'm just going to rip off a piece of saran wrap. And we're just going to lay it out, and now we're just going to, whoops, how much of a disaster I can do here. We're just going to put some of these onto our saran. So this is pretty easy. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Just do a line going down. That's it. Then we're going to do it in each color. in our blue. All right. Now what you're gonna do is take this and just flip it over just like that. You're making like a sausage roll, for lack of a better way to call that. And then you're just gonna roll it up. More like a cabbage roll. If anyone's ever made a cabbage roll. You're gonna twist the one end, and then we're going to snip this end off. All right, and then you're gonna take this whole thing, put it directly into your another piping bag. So this piping bag, I've put an end onto it. That's a big end, a wide end, or a large end. I did buy a whole kit of these, and these ones are just so small that they just didn't make it look very nice. So I'm using the big end. There's a few different ones, but this is the one I've had the best luck with. But use whatever end you like. But this is the one I'm using. So we're going to put that directly into our piping bag. Just going to put that to the side. And now we've got our two toppers, our bases. And one of these I am going to put some model magic on it to kind of build it up. So all I'm doing is just taking a big pinch of model magic. And this is like a foam clay. It's pretty handy. You can use this for all kinds of things. And we're just going to make kind of a little ball. We're just going to mush that right on top there. And then we're going to caulk over this because it'll just make your base a little bigger so you're not trying to build it up so much. But I'm going to do one of each. I'm going to do one without it, and then I'm going to do one with it. So I'm just going to adjust the camera here so we're down low enough to see what I'm doing. There we go. All right, so what you do with this is squeeze it down. So make sure, start right at the back right here, just squeeze it down. Just push it right down. And there you go. You can see it coming out. We'll start with the non. So you can do this any way you want. If you're good at icing cupcakes, you're probably going to be better at this than I am. I am not great at icing cupcakes, mainly because I don't make stuff for my friends at work anymore because they all said they don't want to eat it. And if you twist this, you'll get the different colors on the other side. You can twist it either way. See, I'm a terrible piper. My home ec teacher would be very disappointed in me. There you go. But you get the idea. Now with the one with the lump on it, with our Model Magic lump, you can make this a little easier. There you go. And again, someone who's a bit better at icing cupcakes is going to be a little better at this. You can definitely practice this before. Make your friends cupcakes before you tackle these. But I think that looks pretty awesome. I'm happy with that. So now we're going to let this dry, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like in the dark. And here is our finished tumbler. And I just set it on top of my cool little skeleton resin cup that I made last week. I really like this, even without the glowing part, which is the most fantastic part of this. I hope you guys like it. I'm pretty excited. Are you ready? It's so cool. I absolutely love this topper. It turned out so awesome. I really, really do like it. So bright and so happy, and it's just beautiful. I love that you can see every glowing color separately, and it's just so much fun. Please tell me what you guys think of this, because this is definitely one of my favorites to date, and I've been thinking about this for weeks on end, trying to perfect this idea and hoping it would work, and then it did, and I was just so happy. Thanks so much for watching. I do put out at least one new video every week, so please do subscribe. It really does help the channel, which makes me able to bring you guys more videos.